Hello teachers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am so excited that you guys are back for yet another video. And if you haven't already and you're not, make sure that you subscribe down below because I will be doing new videos every single Thursday about all things VIPKid teaching and or teaching online, because that's what this whole channel is all about. So for today's YouTube video, I am actually doing a classroom tour because if you've noticed, kind of revamped it a little bit. I've made it a little bit more functional, a little bit more teacher friendly, and I've just generally given it a refresh, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. And I know so many of you have been asking about how I do my classroom, how I set it up, and so that's what I'm doing my video about today. So if you've been wondering how I do my classroom, this is how I do it. So first things first, the thing that you probably notice that is the most different is my background. So my teacher background looks just like this. And I just recently redid my teacher background. And as you can tell, it is much more colorful and way brighter, which I am obsessed with because it looks amazing in the classroom. I decided to do a little refresh from my old classroom, not because I didn't like it, but just because it felt kind of plain and not as engaging for the students. So I decided to revamp it and add some more stuff to it. And literally all it is it is a trifold board wrapped in wrapping paper. That's all it is. All in all, my teacher background probably cost me, I don't know, 10 bucks, but the most expensive part of that were the letters, and that's because I went to the Lakeshore Learning Store to get the letters, and they cost me $6 for the entire bag of letters. But overall, all it is, seriously, all it is a trifold poster board wrapped in blue wrapping paper, both from Target. These lights are also from the Target dollar spot from Christmas time, and I just have them strung. And I like them because they're battery operated. So I have them strung to where the battery pack actually lays about right here behind the board. And I can just flip them on and flip them off before classes and after classes. And it's literally that simple. And then you might notice that my background is actually hanging. So if you look, I actually have my classroom, I'm gonna go mobile, hanging on a clothing rack. And I like that because it is completely mobile. I can move it around my apartment. I can move it to different spots in my house. And I like that it is not permanent because I live in an apartment. So I don't want anything to be hanging from the wall because any sort of damage I put to the walls, I have to fix when I move out, which I'm not a very handy person. So I'm trying to minimally damage my walls. So super easy. The clothing rack is from Target. It was like $13. I'm gonna put a picture of it right here so you guys can see. Seriously, it was like $13 and some change. And then I just have it hanging on some binder clips, like binder rings. And it's that simple. And I can change it, I can move it, I can take it down, I can reset it, do whatever I gotta do with it to make it work for me, which is super functional. The other thing that I really like about using a clothing rack is it is a way for me to make my classroom portable, and I can raise the height of it so it can be tall if I want to stand, or if I want it to be seated for the morning of teaching, I can lower it. Something a little bit different than if you have a standing desk. My desk, pretty simple, cheap desk from Target. It was a part of the Back to College collection. It was like, I don't know, $20 when I bought it. And I love my desk. But a standing desk makes it difficult if you want to stand up, because what happens is your background doesn't necessarily change if you have it mounted to the wall. So I like the clothing rack method because your background changes, not your desk. So if you're able to invest in a good solid desk, that's a good height when you're seated, then all you have to do is worry about having your computer be raised, which I will show you what I use to make that happen. And it makes your whole classroom totally functional to be both a seated classroom and a standing classroom. So the next part of my classroom that I'm going to show you is actually the organizer that I just recently bought at the Lakeshore Learning Store. I had a gift card. That's the only reason why I went there, because they can be very expensive. And it is this organizer, this pocket chart that I bought. It's just a standard sized pocket chart, and I have it push pinned into the wall. And this is where I have all of my props. I have printed all of these props with the exception of the apples, these little classroom decals, and then these numbers that came with my letters. from home, from my computer. The other ones that I personally made were the stars, and then the colors. I just cut up some construction paper, and this is how I have them organized. So this pocket chart has been a game changer. It helps me to reach for more props if I'm in the middle of class. I can very easily just, turn myself around and grab what I need from right here versus digging into my bucket that I'm gonna show you to get more stuff. So if you don't already have a pocket chart for your props, 10 out of 10, do recommend. Doesn't have to be from the Lakeshore Learning Store unless you have a gift card like I did. You can find them for $5 cheaper off of Amazon. The last thing I wanted to show you is this milk crate. So this milk crate has everything that I need prop-wise, including my iPad. It has other props in there, such as my letter cards, my number cards, some shapes, my markers, and then just other random bits and bobs that I sometimes use for class. I will be doing an in-depth prop tour in a future video, but I love this milk crate because I can easily reach into it during class. I have it propped up on a second milk crate. This is sort of the cheap girl's way of having more storage. I really recommend getting some milk crates. You can get them for like $5 at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. These ones I actually stole from my brother. But it works really great for organizing, keeping things stored and out of the way, and clutter-free if you work and teach in a small living environment. So last but not least, the way that I make my classroom completely a standing desk is with this computer stand. Now this computer stand, if you have a lower desk, actually goes higher, but since I'm short, this is actually the perfect height. So my computer sits right here on top, and then where the camera sort of sits when it's open, it actually comes directly eye level with me, which is very lucky because if it were any taller, it would be too tall for how tall I am. This thing is amazing. I got it for $20, less than $20 actually at Walmart. I will link it in the description down below. And it was an awesome buy. I was actually discovered it from another teacher on Instagram, and it's the bomb. So it can get taller or it can't get any shorter than this, but it has these two little legs right here, which is great because I now have all of this space compared to before when I had a box there. I lost about 50% of my desk space for props. So this thing is awesome if you are someone who is curious about standing while you teach, but you don't really want to invest in, say, a standing desk. This little thing is amazing. So that is a very brief, quick classroom tour. It is not anything fancy. It is not anything crazy, but it is something that works for me. If you are someone who works in an apartment, teaches in an apartment, or you rent your space, I really do recommend the clothing rack setup because it allows you to be mobile. It prevents you from damaging any of your walls, and it sort of gives you the opportunity to teach sitting down and standing up if that's something that you are interested in. Again, I love how this looks in the classroom. It looks beautiful, so bright, so colorful. It wakes me up in the morning when it's 5 in the morning and I'm teaching. And I feel like it really catches the attention of the kids. This is my classroom. I'm so excited. It is so functional and totally revamped, and it makes me feel so organized and successful. So if you liked today's video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and you subscribe down below. And if you are interested in teaching for VIPKid, please let me know. I love helping people find this job and get hired. I've already had 3 successful referrals get hired and start teaching, which is super exciting. So if you are interested in this job and you want to directly apply, go ahead and use that link down below. That is my referral link. So if you sign up with that link and get hired, I do receive a referral bonus, which I will always share with you guys. Just be very transparent. And if you're sort of thinking about it, and you're not sure, make sure you jot down my referral code, which I'll put right here. And then when you apply, make sure you punch in that referral code and then shoot me an email so I can help you get hired. It is kind of a process, but when you have a little bit of help and a partner and a guide, it makes it so much more easy. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.